It's not being unloyal to your friend by being able to check your friend. Honestly, it's disloyal to her by feeding her lies, by telling her all her behavior is right. Work on yourself, work on your self-esteem, and there won't be no competition for you. You won't feel like you have to compete with other women. Other women will be seen as your ally. The thing that triggers you about what somebody else does is what you still need to work on with yourself. Boundaries aren't good enough. So that's why girls keep quote unquote backstabbing you, using you. It's your girl Chinya Ani, and welcome back to my channel. So on this channel, we talk about everything dealing with womanhood, healing, and being our best selves, elevating, holding ourselves accountable, holding our community accountable, and how we can move into our most healed and whole self to attract the best people and the best possible circumstances for our lives. So if you like this type of content, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, follow me on Instagram, because it's a new wave. We are healed, hold, and just, you know what I'm saying, walking into our best season yet in this beautiful life that we've been granted by our lovely dear God. This topic, it needs to be heard. And what is it? It is healing the girl's girl. What do I mean by that? So many times we throw around the term, I'm a girl's girl, I'm a girl's girl. But what are we actually perpetuating? What do we actually mean by that? So to me, a girl's girl is someone who can hold their friends accountable first and foremost, create safe spaces, right? And have empathy and compassion for the next woman, for their friend, for their sister. So much of what I see today being called girl's girl is actually mirroring toxic behaviors. A real girl's girl can balance compassion with accountability, right? So being able to say, hey sis, I feel you. You've been in a toxic relationship for X amount of years. You've been in a toxic cycle with your mom, with your dad for X amount of years. I understand that because I might have been through it, or somebody that I know that I'm close to might have also been through it. But guess what? What can you do to change it? Because so much what I see is going on is what we love to do is point the finger. Oh, we're in this situation because of the man. We're in this situation because of society. We're in this situation because of childhood trauma and all those things. But when, as adult women, when as a woman's woman, are we going to be able to sit back and not only hold ourselves accountable for the things that we're perpetuating in our own lives, but then hold our sister accountable for what she's perpetuating? And so much of this is like, it's like a cycle, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not in a good space, your friends are not in a good space, you know, hurt people hurt, then they just continue hurting. They create spaces together that fester and it's toxic, and we're just supporting each other in those type of behaviors. But just how a hurt person hurts, heal people heal. So once you've done the inner healing with yourself and you've checked yourself and those same three fingers are pointing, looking back at you on all your actions, then you can hold your friend accountable. Then you can create safe spaces for something else. Because what I find is the very thing that triggers you about what somebody else does is what you still need to work on with yourself. Any projection that we have on somebody else or something else, we have to figure out what it is within ourselves that is making us feel triggered and making us react in the way that we're reacting. Because the only person that is responsible for your behavior and how you react to any circumstances or situation is yourself, nobody else. I know my girls love Sexy Red, right? We sing her songs, we chant her music, and that's fine. We could still be a girl's girl with Sexy Red and say like, hey, I understand where she's been. I heard that she was sexually assaulted. I know that she, you know, has probably had so much trauma with her baby daddy, growing up in poverty, and whatever the situation may have you with her, but that does not mean that we can't hold her accountable for the toxic rhetoric that she perpetuates. Just because we come from the same situation as somebody doesn't mean that we can't hold them accountable for what they're perpetuating and the negativity that they're putting out in our community today. And I think so many of us in our community, we need to hold these type of people accountable. Cardi B came out and said she was robbing those men. All women were like, no, that's not okay. We can still say, okay, you know, we might still support Cardi and what she's doing, but that doesn't mean that we can't hold her accountable. Lizzo, you know, with all her antics and rhetoric, just because she's acting in a certain way that isn't good, but we understand why she's doing those things, doesn't mean we can't say, hey, the way you're acting is not good and unacceptable, but we can still hold your hand and walk you to a better path. And until we do that in our own communities, we're going to keep on leading each other astray. We're going to keep on, being birds and like mirroring our own bird behavior. Like, it's out of control. We have to be willing to call out each other's toxic patterns, toxic behaviors, disrespectful antics, disrespectful clothing, just disrespecting ourselves. Yes, women should be able to wear what she wants to wear, do what she wants to do, but at the same time, we have to understand how dressing a certain way gets a certain result. Putting yourself in drunken drug situations gets a certain result. Do you deserve to be attacked for wearing a certain clothing? No, that's a girl's girl. Do you deserve to have certain things happen to you because of you being under the influence? No, that's supporting women. That's being a girl's girl. But at the same time, you have to watch out for the places that you put yourself in, for how you show up in the world. That's also being a girl's girl, by saying, hey sis, maybe that outfit isn't suitable for the reaction that you're trying to get out of the situation. Hey sis, maybe you sleeping around, lying to the men that you say that you love, maybe that's why the toxic cycle in your relationship continues to happen. It's not being unloyal to your friend by being able to check your friend. Honestly, it's disloyal to her by feeding her lies, by telling her all her behavior is right and just, and she has no problems, and she did the right thing every step of the way. We have to be able to grow together. That's true friendship. If you can't come to your friend and tell her the honest truth, you're not being her friend. You're being a pick-me. You're being a pick-me to your friend. Like, hey girl, you just around to tell her everything that she wants to hear because, oh my God, I don't want the confrontation. I don't want the argument. We call ourselves women, right? We have to put on our big girl panties and we have to be able to call out our own behavior. I was literally blown up on TikTok by saying, hey, we have to start with ourselves. We want other people to respect us. We have to respect ourselves. We want other people to put us in positions, to let us in rooms and doors. We have to let each other in the room and door. We have to hold each other accountable. And I would like to know to those women that want to gatekeep spaces, that feel like, oh, it's not enough for all of us. Oh, you know what I'm saying? We're fighting over men. In that secret competition, work on yourself, work on your self-esteem, and there won't be no competition for you. You won't feel like you have to compete with other women. Other women will be seen as your allies. You may not always want to hang with every single woman, because you also have to have discernment in all your relationships and understand when, hey, you've outgrown a situation, but you can still have that compassion for her. You can still have that empathy for her. That doesn't mean that you have to align all your principles and your morals with that woman at the same time. That's the difference. So we have to watch out for this girl's girl becoming a toxic movement, perpetuating toxic behaviors, excusing narcissistic behaviors, excusing promiscuous behavior, all those things. Yes, that's just her, right? That's what we say. But when are we going to be able to say that's just her, but she needs to correct that behavior? And in fact, I'm not going to align with that behavior. I'm not going to align with her until she corrects those things, and come to her with loving kindness and guidance to put her on the right course, but also not maintaining those type of relationships, because that's not a safe space. That's not being a girl's girl. That's creating toxic spaces. We have to make sure that we're whole and healed and ready to have that level of discernment, because a lot of us, we don't want to admit to ourselves that we hold on to relationships just because we don't want to be lonely, or we're holding on to relationships because it fits the aesthetic or we like the vibe, instead of aligning ourselves only with relationships that bring us to our highest self and put us in the best place and the best possible version of who we're trying to be as well. A girl's girl is somebody who can recognize, hey, this isn't the vibration that I want to be aligned with. This is what I do want to be aligned with, and moving in that flow, in that direction. So you also have to be able to put yourself in vulnerable positions of like, hey, I might need to move into new circles, reaching out to women that you admire, women that you see as, even more elevated than yourself, and saying, you know what, sis, there's something that I might be able to learn from you, and there's something that you could probably get from me, because there's always a place of exchange. There's always something that you can give to somebody and something that you can take away from someone as well, that they can take away from you, some motivation, some kindness, some guidance. You never know. So always be open to new relationships. Don't have an attitude of like, oh, I don't want no new friends because that girl might be trite or she might be, trying to use me. Everybody that's in your sphere is a reflection of you. So maybe your boundaries aren't good enough. So that's why girls keep quote unquote backstabbing you, using you. Maybe you are stuck in a toxic relationship, and the way that your man likes to keep you in line, likes to keep you in check, is by low-key planning in your mind that, oh, she wants me, all your homegirls are, after him as well, or, those type of toxic patterns. We have to get away from that. If there is competition within your friend group of you and your girls, y'all aren't really friends. Point blank, period. There is no healthy way to be looking at each other like, oh, she got this, I want this. Oh, she got this, I want this. Motivating each other, yes. Encouraging each other, yes. But competing with one another? No, we don't do that. Real friends can call each other out on their BS and still be friends. Real friends also know, real girls also know when it's time to create space, because you might have to let your sis learn something by herself, for herself. We cannot operate as girls, as empowered women if we are operating in survival mode, if we are operating from a lack mentality, if we are operating from a place of no self-love. Again, it all comes back to your own self-development, your own self-worth, everybody that you keep in your sphere, and the level to which you can correct and encourage another sister while still holding yourself accountable and understanding that there is still work for us all to do. There is so much power in a healed woman space. There is so much power in creating safe places to share, be able to be critiqued, be able to be rehabilitated, and come back as a bigger, stronger woman. Don't let society take that away from us. Don't let our own spaces become so toxic and so, such a place to mirror those toxic behaviors that we don't even have those spaces, that healed women don't even trust those spaces to come into and be able to encourage and guide and lead, because the person receiving it is so uncomfortable with that message. It doesn't even sit right in their own spirits. We have to open up and be brave and be willing to say, hey, I'm not all together, but I have something I can still give. I have something I can still learn. We can all still give and still learn. Sisterhood is a reflection, not a codependency. Yes, everybody that you are surrounded with, you should see a part of yourself in them. You do. If you're being real with yourself, there is something, a part of all of that that's within you. But at the same time, it should not be a situation to where you are defining yourself off of what your sister is doing. You are aligning yourself with all her behaviors just because you have to ride or die with everything that she does. It has to be something that you got to do. No. So we have to ask ourselves the hard question. Am I really in this relationship because we've just been friends for so long and it makes me feel comfortable, and she co-signs my nonsense and I co-sign her nonsense and it makes us feel safe and we are mirroring each other's toxic behaviors? Or am I really trying to cultivate a sisterhood where we are encouraging and empowering and moving ourselves into a positive space, into the next level of our growth as women? You know what I'm saying? As queens. Ask yourself, what's one pattern that you might be perpetuating in relationships that you're trying to alleviate? And you might need to ask your sisters and your girls, hey, I'm really trying to move into this space, whether it be, oh, maybe I'm not trying to smoke so much, I'm not trying to drink so much, or whatever it have you. And I really need you guys as my sisters to hold each other in a safe space and to hold me accountable for my own actions. So thank you guys for listening. I'm so excited to come back with part 2, where we're going to discuss trauma bonding, right? Other ways we can hold each other accountable, like making those steps to hold each other accountable, and how we untie those childhood traumas and those wounds that we built to build these toxic relationships. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Chinya Ani. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, please like, please leave a comment, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week.